girls. So one meeting I came and I changed his name right to Mr. Babar. They just kept saying it wrong. They put it in the thing wrong, and so they'd be like, go Mr. Babar. R-A-B-A-R.
They had it spelled wrong. I think it was A-R maybe?
They had A-R. So I changed his name that one time.
Anyway, So I told him, I know.
Good evening, it is 7:52 p.m. and this is the regular monthly meeting of the Mahomet Seymour Board of Education. I'd like to call it to order at this time on Monday, January 14th. I'd like to remind everyone to please sign in, silence your cell phones if you're a guest. And would also like to remind the guests that in order to facilitate an effective meeting, anyone who wishes to make public comments to the board tonight, please read the visitor guidelines found on the table outside the door, complete the public participation form, and get those to Jennifer in the next couple of minutes. Thank you so much. I also want to apologize for the late start. We had an earlier hearing. In the interest of due process and fairness to everybody, it went much longer than we anticipated. So our apologies for that. Everyone who's on the agenda tonight will get their appropriate amount of time. And thank you for staying with us during the interim period here. Can we have roll call, please?
Giles, Raver,
Here.
Hendricks,
Here.
Casson,
Here.
Larson, here, Park, here, McComb.
Here. At this time, we will stand for the pledge. Our student who's going to lead us in the pledge is sick, so Lance Raver will lead us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. You may be seated. Board members, you've had a chance to review the agenda for tonight's meeting. Is there anyone who has any changes they would like to make to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Lance. Is there a second?
Second.
That would be Jenny Park. Further discussion on the agenda? All in favor of approving the agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The agenda stands approved. Do we have any public participation forms? Okay, thank you so much. Board, you've also had a chance to review the consent agenda for tonight's meeting. The consent agenda includes a variety of routine type items, including minutes of previous meetings, the approval of bills to be paid, the treasurer's report, personnel changes, and some record management issues. Is there anyone who would like to pull anything out of the consent agenda and handle it as an individual item for further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Lori Larson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Hendricks. Further discussion on the consent agenda? Roll call vote, please.
Park. Yes. Casson,
Yes.
Raver,
Yes.
Giles, Hendricks.
Yes.
Larson. Yes.
Yes, one of the items we just approved was the approval of the new transportation director. And someone's going to do an introduction.
Yep.
I
We'd
think
like
that's you.
Mr. Nick York to come up and be introduced. Yeah, Matt, stand at the podium.
Sure.
This is Nick York, and we're pleased to announce that he is our new Director of Transportation, starting full-time on February 1st. And he comes to us from Staley Concrete, where he's been for 9+ years. Holds a bachelor's and an MBA from the University of Illinois at Chicago, and lives here in Mahomet with his wife and 2 daughters. So we're thrilled to welcome you aboard, Nick, and I'm so glad you're here and look forward to having you start so I can get rid of the blue phone.
Yeah, I've heard about the nefarious blue phone. I'm very happy to take it on. Yeah, I did just move here to Mahomet back in July. I grew up in Champaign, did my schooling up in Chicago with my wife and daughter. So I'm very happy to continue to learn more about Mahomet and school and community and people and face whatever challenges the transportation department has, so it doesn't impede the progress of the rest of the school district, and remain or become a smooth running cog in a larger machine. I look forward to being the least concern of parents as I can be, as well as teachers and administration. I grew up in Champaign. My father was a UPS driver, so I know Champaign really well. I knew my neighborhood in Chicago very, very well, so I'm eager to learn Mahomet as well as possible and be as great assistance as I can be to athletic, academic, every facet of the school district. I do have a history in fundraising, so and if I can be of assistance in that capacity, athletic boosting, I was a football player, cheerleader, anything I can do to ingratiate myself to the rest of the school district and any other part of the school or community. So I look forward to working with all of you and seeing how I can be a part of the community and schools and help in your mission and your success.
Nick, it's great to have you here. You know, it's traditional that new administrators get a moment to sing their high school fight song. I'm just kidding.
Thank you very much. I was a cheerleader, so I didn't know it. And I apologize, I can't stick around tonight, but I look forward to being part of these meetings in the future.
Perfect. Thanks for being here. Next on the agenda is donations. And Dr. Hall.
We have one donation this month. It is an anonymous donor to the high school cross-country team, a donation of $1,000 in cash. Thank you very much.
Board members, you've seen the donations. Is there a motion to approve the donations as presented?
So moved.
Well, who? I came from Watson. I'll give it to Jenny Park because I could hear her right next to you. Is there a second? That'd be Lance Raver. Thank you very much. Further discussion on donations? Need a roll call vote, please.
Hendricks?
Yes.
Park? Yes. Casson?
Yes.
Larson?
Yes.
Giles? Raver?
Yes.
Yes. It's communication time. First up, is there anyone here from the PTO? How about MSEA? Foundation report?
We haven't met, so.
We haven't met. And we've got no visitor requests to speak, correct? Okay. Communication was real quick tonight. Board members, as far as building reports, you've had a chance to look at those and read those, and we'll go down the line with board members. Is there anything you'd like to share or comment on? Sorry,
No, I don't have anything tonight other than everybody just be careful. Sounds like we got more bad weather coming in, and I've heard rumor at the high school that we don't get any snow days because Dr. Hall is from Colorado and is used to snow. That's just the rumor I hear.
Really, that's the take at the high school?
That's the take at the high
We get ski days then.
school.
Wow, all right.
I have no report.
Okay.
I just thought they did a great job, the maintenance crew and our groundspeople getting everything cleared away, all the snow and the sidewalks.
Nothing to report.
Nothing. Jenny?
I don't either. Lincoln Trail has the same report, which is that you need to give snow days, apparently.
Apparently you are being a snow day screwed.
You'll thank me in June.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get out of school.
All right. Just a note, we know we just made it through winter break, and appreciate all of our staff back in action, ready to go. And I hope everybody had a great break, and evidently you're not getting any snow days, so those were the days you had, so hope that went well. And welcome back to everybody. Trent, financial update.
We are officially halfway through the fiscal year, so I want to give a mid-year financial review. We're going to try to get in the habit of doing this every January board meeting. Just have a good chance to check in on how those operating funds are doing. So we'll jump right into the first of the 4 operating funds, the Ed Fund. PowerPoint added new animation. Hold on tight. It is I told you, right? I don't want to show off. Education fund, we budgeted just over $23 million in the Ed Fund alone. And so far, halfway through the year, we've spent just over $11.5 million. So if you're keeping score at home, we're just shy of 50% of the budget spent so far, which is right on track. Look at the fund balance historically. The last 4 years, we're close to $1.5 million in the Ed Fund. Since I've been here since 2011, one of the higher Ed funds I've seen since I've been here. And I think we can mostly attribute that to the state catching up on some of those mandated categorical payments. Evidence-based funding model didn't hurt as well. So I think we're heading in the right direction. I don't think if I was to guess, I don't think we'll see that continued increase. I think we'll kind of plateau. Because again, they were behind quite a bit on some of those state payments, and they made up for that in 17, 18, and it crept up a little bit more now in 18, 19. So again, it's a mid-year fund balance, so we're talking, by the end of the year, it will look differently, but historically.
How many days of cash is that? Ballpark on top of your head?
I have the total at the very end.
Okay, we'll wait then.
I would say 30.
Okay. So even though it's the best we've ever had, 30 days cash.
So again, when we compare, that's why I was going to do it.
Okay, all right.
No,
We'll let you do it.
We're in a good spot there too. We'll get to that. We usually look at that as like all 4 operating funds.
Oh, boy.
All right, operations and maintenance fund. This one isn't as pretty, but it is what it is. The budget, we budgeted $1.9 million, and we've spent so far just over $1 million. So we're about 4.13% over where, if we were to say we're on track at 50% halfway through the year, we're just a little bit over that. We have had some pricier HVAC repairs at the high school and mostly at the high school. Sorry.
And an uncharacteristic flood in the trail.
There was that, right? Those expenses are in here, and tonight Jeff passed along the insurance check from that plumber who was involved in that. So we have that, and that will offset some of those expenses as well. But that won't show up until January. A few other items that contributed to the expenses. We have a little bit of front-loaded custodial supplies this year. We were kind of resupplying some of the custodial closets, and we did a lot of that at the beginning of the year, so that's a little bit front-loaded. Also, I looked closer at the Middletown utilities. Last year we had Sangamon and we had Middletown, only 55,000 square feet of Middletown, phase 1. That looks a lot different this year. We don't have Sangamon online anymore, and now we have a 100,000 square foot building here, however many that would be. But the utilities look quite a bit different. Last year at this point, July to December FY18, we spent $66,728. And this year we're at $100,000. There's a lot more electricity used in this building as opposed to Sangamon, which, there was a boiler there, and Shane was here.
We have lights here.
I'm sorry?
We have lights.
We have lights here, correct. So yeah, there's a lot more dependence on electricity here. But again, we'll continue to watch that as well. The high school thus far, the electricity bill is a little bit higher. I think maybe we can contribute some of that to colder weather. If we were to really dig in on those bills, we might see some other trends there as well. But it's just a little bit higher than we'd like to see. It's by no fault of administration or staff. It's just, utilities are what they are. So anyway, that's the operations and maintenance fund. The fund balance has dropped a little bit, but I foresee that recovering by the end of the year. I think we'll see that come back. Transportation fund. The budgeted amount is about what it's been the last 3 years, just shy of 1.3 million. And we've spent about $715,000, a little bit over budget on the transportation fund, but that has shown that way this year and the last 2 years prior. That fund is very front-loaded in the fact that we paid that $260,000 bus lease payment in July. So right off the bat, it shows that we're way over budget, but that kind of trickles back come June when that all kind of evens out. And in fact, December this time last year, we were at 55.2% of the budget spent, and by June, by the end of the fiscal year, we ended balanced. So I see that trend continuing here too. We've had some higher repairs in the older buses. We do continue to own 9 buses that we will then be trading in on the new lease that will start July 1st. But I'm already in talks with the current lease company on what kind of deals we can get there. Just so you know, and there's just a heads up, if anything, we are leasing 19 buses. We're looking at releasing those 19 buses, that just to kind of keep the price down for one. But we know, we know where they've been. They've been here the last 2.5 years, and they have a lot of life left in them to continue leasing those. Probably for a 2-year period. That way we get a 5-year depreciation allowance out of the state reimbursement system, and there's several reasons why. But yeah, you'll hear more about that in the next couple months. So the fund balance reflects that as well. And I guess that would be 16-17 is when we started leasing buses. We saved up that fund balance coming out of 15-16 with the $500,000 fund balance. We saved up that fund balance going into the next 3 years because we knew we'd have those bus lease payments. So we'll hover around $200,000 here every December moving forward.
Trent, when do you think we'll see the bus lease package?
I'm meeting with him on Thursday, so just to be sure we have all the I's dotted and T's crossed, maybe February meeting, possibly? Yep. We don't have to bid that out officially. Yeah, that's the best one. Officially, we don't have to bid that out, especially since we're still doing business with that existing bus lease company. But we're keeping them honest still, believe me. All right, working cash fund is the last of the 4 funds. We budgeted $290,000, and I guess we'll call it expense, but more transfers. There's really only 2 expenses, transfers in the working cash fund. The $250,000 expense year to date is the permanent transfer from working cash to O&M and then to transportation. I presented that recommendation in July to do some permanent transfers just to align those fund balances to those targets that we set years back. So that's $250,000 of that. The remaining $40,000 would be an interest transfer that we would transfer from the working cash fund to ed fund, and we do that every June. So it's hard to really compare that to the 50% mark because there's not like recurring expenses there necessarily. It's a very different animal there. So there's the fund balance. The current fund balance at 3.4 million. It has dropped a little bit because I currently have it's probably more detailed than it needs to be. A working cash loan to the debt service fund. As that fund balance drops just a little bit, just to keep some funds in there. Anyway, that will eventually come back in June. So that will look better in June and will align with the previous years as well. That was kind of boring. Operating fund summary. This is the total 4 funds budgeted, $26.5 million. And there's the year-to-date expense. Again, this is just a summary of the previous 4 funds we just looked at. So we're right at 51% of the budget spent. And then there's the fund balance, and then along with Lance's days of cash on hand. So we're hovering right around where we have been the last 3 years. That's great for that. So, we talked about some of these numbers, and it's in the red flag report that we provide the board and that kind of thing. But I've never really kind of got down to the nitty-gritty here, and I can continue to do that if that's what everybody would like to see. Just kind of a short little snippet. If anything, I will continue to do this every January, just as a mid-year deal. But all right, any questions with any of that? Thank you.
Very good. Next up is superintendent report. Dr. Hall.
A couple of things that are not on my report. I want to echo Lori's comment about snow removal this weekend. We didn't have the kind of snow that Western Illinois did, thankfully. I think there's a lot of places still shut down west of Springfield, but I think we had a solid 8 inches, and that's a lot of work. So shout out to our crews that were out pretty much all weekend. That was a snow where you have to kind of continually clear it or you're gonna get way behind and not be able to do it. So I know they'll be out early tomorrow morning. Be careful in the morning. We're expecting freezing drizzle. So, and maybe more this weekend. So great crew. I also just want to commend our transportation department. Our drivers and our administrative assistant there, Betty Northrup, have just been awesome in Jeremy Rourke's absence. They have just been super helpful and continue just to do the amazing work that they do, but just holding down the fort till we get Mr. York in place, and really appreciate their efforts, and they're doing a fantastic job. Just a couple other things from my report. I mentioned strategic planning. Now that we finished up the Phase 2 project here at Middletown Prairie, and we're more focused on the Mahomet Seymour schools, not only from a facility standpoint, but we need to start talking about the overall focus and direction of our school district. And when we had the dedication and grand opening ceremony here back in August, Max mentioned some of the building projects and some of the vision that we have down the road, and that's certainly part of a strategic planning initiative, but there's also obviously a lot more than we do in the district, just besides building facilities and upgrading them, areas in the areas of teaching and learning and finance and the culture of our school district. So what's to follow at the end of the month in January is a joint board meeting with the Village of Mahomet and our board on January 29th in this room at 7 p.m. And one of the things that we're going to be discussing and hearing about is the outcome of a demographic and enrollment study that was done by Cropper GIS. That's something that both our boards supported and engaged in. And that's really kind of a look into the future in terms of how our enrollment will change and probably grow, as well as how the impact of growth in the community overall is going to impact our school district and the village as well. So it seems like a really good time to just start talking about what our vision is for the future of the school district, and also talking about how we can engage the community and hear the voice of all of our constituents as well. So again, Tuesday the 29th is a special board meeting right here, 7 o'clock, with the village board as well. So that'll be really interesting. I'm going to have Dr. Rummel talk briefly about our curriculum nights. We're really excited about these 2 new events and hope that folks can come and hear about what's going on in our classrooms. We've got 2 of them planned. K-5 on January 24th and 6th through 12th grade on February 13th. So she's going to give a quick overview of sessions that are going to be offered and the communication that we have to our parents.
So last week, Wendy and Jeff sent the K-5 curriculum night information out to parents, and parents have an opportunity for K-5 in collaboration with Kids Club and our Interact Club at the high school. Parents have an opportunity to sign up for childcare for kids in grades K through 5 if that's a need while they participate in this event. So we're happy to be able to offer that for our parents. So what we did was we just selected some different things that are happening between Middletown Prairie and Lincoln Trail to offer a variety of just short 20-minute informational sessions to parents, just to kind of give them an overview of different curriculum, instructional things that are happening in the classrooms. So Mentor Sentences is a strategy they're using at Lincoln Trail for teaching grammar and language skills. We have the new class, the Action-Based Learning Lab here at Middletown, and to be able to give parents a preview of that. A lot of great things going on with technology at Lincoln Trail with the 3D printer and the green screen and things like that. So Dana Perkins is going to come over and present on some of those things. The past 2 years, we've spent all of our early release and most of our institute days focused on guided reading. So just provide an overview for parents of what guided reading is, what does it mean, what does it look like in the classroom. The other initiative we've had at the elementary level has been responsive classrooms, and part of that is morning meetings, so model a morning meeting for parents and explain the purpose of those. Then both at the elementary and For the 6-12 night, I'm gonna do a session on how are curriculum decisions made. So for example, at the high school, how do we get a new course? What are the steps and processes that go through? How did we come up with guided reading as one of the foundational pieces? We're gonna be moving to writing pretty soon. We'll be using Lucy Calkins as the guidance for that. How did we come to that decision? And then Go Math will be the other one, and just giving parents an overview of what that looks like in the classroom. And then we have the same kind of sign up for 6-12. And I'll say for both of these, for a couple, we reached out to particular teachers because there were certain things we wanted covered, like at the elementary, wanted an overview of math, wanted an overview of guided reading, the new course at Middletown. But at 6-12, you send an email and say, hey, we're gonna do a night on curriculum, who would be interested? And very surprised and happy by the number of teachers that responded and showed an interest in sharing the things that they're doing at high school. So you approved 2 new classes, discrete math and a new physics class at the high school. So the teachers that will be teaching those 2 courses next year will be presenting just a brief overview to parents on those 2 courses. Fine Arts is going to be presenting. They haven't quite nailed down exactly what that's going to look like, but they will be presenting. Jennifer Worley is going to be doing something with ag in the new ag leadership class that started this year. Breakout EDU, if your kids have not been involved in that activity, that would be a great one for you to attend. They've used it in AP Calculus. They've also used it in bio, which is an entry-level science class that everybody takes. It's just a great way. It's kind of like if you've done the escape rooms, it's kind of like an escape room in the classroom. So kids are trying to solve puzzles and different things related to the curriculum that they're studying. PE is going to talk about their heart rate monitors. World Languages is going to give an overview of the different offerings that they have. And then we've got a couple different ones that will be just giving an overview of what it's been like going one-to-one and how that's changed teaching and learning in their classrooms. So right now I can tell you, since we'll send this out, we sent the elementary one out about 2 weeks before the event. We'll probably do the same thing for the 6-12. We have just under 100 RSVPs right now for the elementary. So it's positive numbers for our first time out.
Great. Thank you. All the work that went into that from everybody.
Questions for Nicole or for Dr. Hall? Thank you both. Might be good, Dr. Rummel, to get that K-5 curriculum night, if we could get it sent to board members. I know some of us plan on attending,
Absolutely.
and that way we can pick what sessions we want to come to. We're at item 9, regular business. There is nothing under unfinished business, so we'll go to new business. New business, item number 1 is the ruling on the student discipline hearing. And we've got a motion prepared.
I move that the student 20558 is found to have violated school rules by engaging in prohibited student conduct as found in the student parent handbook, and that the suspension be ratified.
That's the motion before the board. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Mr. Raver. Further discussion? Most of that was handled as confidential in nature and was handled in closed session. Okay, can we roll call vote on that, please?
Casson,
Yes.
Giles, Larson,
Yes.
Raver,
Yes.
Park,
Yes.
Hendricks,
Yes.
Nicole.
Yes. Suspension stands verified. Item 2, approving settlement agreement with Federal District Court, case 2012 CV 03166. Dr. Hall.
My recommendation is to approve this settlement agreement as outlined in this action item.
Board has seen that, had a chance to review that. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Questions for Dr. Hall? Hearing none, we roll call vote.
Rayford,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Park,
Yes.
Hendricks,
Yes.
Casson,
Yes.
Giles, McComb.
Yes. Item 3, alternative revenue source bond abatement resolution. Trent.
All right, the next 3 agenda items are all somewhat related in that they are involving abatements, but we'll start with the first agenda item, is a resolution to abate all payments for the Series 2010, Series 2016C, and Series 2018 alternate revenue source bonds. The district will instruct the county clerk not to collect the amount and collect taxes in the amount of the alternate revenue source bond payments, which total $441,550. Rather, these bond payments will be paid using proceeds from the county and school facility tax, the 1% tax. Any questions?
That's the recommendation. Is there a motion to do that?
So moved.
Thank you, Lance. Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion or questions for Trent on that? Annual item fulfills the promise we made to the taxpayers to abate
That's the,
those bonds when they approve the 1% sales tax, correct?
right. Yeah, the next, yeah.
Really, all 3 of these are.
Correct. More specific.
There's no further discussion. We have a vote on the alternative revenue source bond abatement resolution. Roll call.
Rayford,
Yes.
Giles, Hendricks,
Yes.
Casson,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
Park,
Yes.
McComb.
Yes. Next is the property tax abatement resolution.
All right, this resolution will dedicate sales tax revenue received in calendar year 2018 to abate property taxes for levy year 2018 in the effort of maintaining a level tax rate. The district will commit $799,729 to reducing taxes otherwise levied to pay debt service. So we'll be using sales tax instead of levy.
Step 1, we're telling the county not to collect them. Step 2 is using this.
No, so those are 2 separate abatements. The first
Okay.
just commit sales tax money. So those are 3 alternate revenue source bonds. The alternate revenue source is sales tax. So that's the one. I just used.
So we have to do 3 series of bonds to get.
Right.
Okay. Yes. Gotcha.
Yeah, so most recently, the Series 2018 bonds were the $5.5 million to finish off paying for phase 2. Yeah, so the $799,000 reflects the 1/3 of the calendar year in the interest of reducing taxes.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there a motion to do that? Now we've already asked the questions. I think Lori made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Jeremy. Further discussion on that? Roll call vote, please.
Larson,
Yes.
Hendricks,
Yes.
Giles, Park,
Yes.
Rayford,
Yes.
Casson.
Yes. And then the next one, Trent.
Yeah, so tomorrow I will file those 2 resolutions with the Champaign County and Pike County offices. This third agenda item related to abatement really is a resolution to transfer those 2 abatement amounts, which total $1,241,279, to transfer those funds from capital projects for 1% tax over to debt service to then make those payments. The state of Illinois requires us to put all the 1% sales tax in the capital projects fund first. So now we have to have a resolution to transfer that out to make those payments and to finish off the year.
Since we just abated that income, we probably should.
We need to now transfer that. I usually do that in March. That's good timing with the cash flow for sales tax.
Okay, perfect. Is there a motion to do that? Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Park,
Yes.
Casson,
Yes.
Rayford,
Yes.
Giles, Hendricks,
Yes.
Larson,
Yes.
McComb.
Yes. All right. This time, that is the regular business agenda, which was very brief tonight. At this time, a closed session is necessary for number 1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, dismissal of a specific employee of the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against the employee to determine its validity, and 2, the placement of individual students in special education programs and other matters relating to individual students. Is there a motion to go into closed session for those 2 reasons?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Hendricks,
Yes.
Park, yes, Casson,
Yes.
Larson, yes, Giles,
Rayburn,
Yes.
McComb.
Yes, we'll recess for about 10 minutes to clear the room and give the board an opportunity to relax for a minute, and we'll be back in close session. We do not anticipate any business at the conclusion